Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Scots on the Run podcast, where we take a behind-the-scenes look at what's happening in the Gordon College cross-country and track and field programs. In this episode, we're joined by the school record holder in the indoor and outdoor shot put, Tiana Fox, who's coming off of another win this weekend at our home meet, the Jonathan Tymann Invitational. But first, as always, Coach Miela, how are you after hosting our one meet this semester?
Man, I'm just happy. Somebody asked me, how'd it go this weekend? And you know what? It happened. We got through it. You know, I was just happy we got through it in the way that we did. Things kept running as smoothly as they could be. I mean, it was a crazy day for sure.
You know, Tiana, I think it was actually, I might have been talking to you when I was saying this, but I think it might have been Matt who was saying, you know, we're doing this sport in rain, sun, sleet, or snow.
Yes.
And I joked that he said he didn't say anything about hail, which is what we got a couple of times.
That's right.
During the meet, but we ended up getting most of it in. I know a couple of the pole vault for the men and a couple of the throws events were canceled. But
well, we have a grass runway for Jav, and Tiana was actually entered in Jav, but we canceled it just because, you know, having people throw spears on a muddy runway is probably a bad idea. I think Tiana agrees. Yeah.
Someone slips the wrong way. Something bad's gonna happen.
That's right. And then when the women's vault was going on, the weather was fine. You know, it was cold, but it wasn't bad. And then it started to rain, and then the rain just slowly started to pick up and picked up more than we thought it would. So vault got dangerous, and then it kept going. And high jump wasn't supposed to start until 1:00, and it was just getting worse and worse. So we had to call a couple events, unfortunately, but given the conditions, we got a lot in, and like I said, we kept it moving, and you know, I take a lot of pride in running an efficient meet and making sure that things are well communicated. So I think we did the best we could to host schools and give people the best competitive experiences we could given the circumstances. You know.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, I think it was fortunate timing with everything that we were able to still get most of the meet in, given what happened a couple of weeks ago at Portsmouth. But yeah, certainly.
And then 2 days later, it was 60 degrees and sunny. So
yeah, that's
just is what it is. Welcome to England.
Just how it goes sometimes. Yeah, I was hopeful that it wasn't going to come until the afternoon, and then we would be able to at least get the stuff in the morning without the rain coming in. But like I said on the show last week, they don't know what it's going to do in 3 hours, let alone in a few days. So.
I think the biggest lesson I learned is that my weather app knows nothing.
Yeah.
I was so excited because I got to the track at 6:30, something like that, and I was just setting up, and it was quiet. It was cold, but it wasn't windy, and it didn't look like the rain was coming. Rain wasn't supposed to come until 5 p.m. So I was thinking, this is going to be a great day. It'll be cold, but it won't be bad. And then 11 o'clock came, and it just slowly started to trickle in, and I'm telling you, the last thing we'll say, and then I know we can get on to some other things, but I remember I was standing at midfield and the sun came out, and I just put my hands up what the heck's going on? And then 15 minutes later, it's just a total downpour of hail in the middle of the 200, and it's just, we just had to just keep moving, you know. There's nothing to do at that point, just keep rolling forward, you know.
Yeah. Well, Tiana, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Doing.
I'm doing good. Today was a nice day. I had disorders today, so nothing too crazy. I'm going to go out on the water and row after this.
By disorders, you mean that's a class?
Yeah, no, yes. I didn't have physical disorders.
Yes. Just to...
No.
Because you are a psych major?
No, kinesiology.
So this was physical disorders class.
Yes, physical disorders class. Okay. We were talking about gait patterns.
Oh, cool.
So soon I'll be able to analyze gait patterns in various people when I'm walking down the street, which I kind of already do.
I feel like, you know, because you and some others, you guys take kinesiology classes and stuff, and I feel like I could probably learn more from you guys than my own coaching experience. So I'll be quizzing you at the end of your class as well, and how it can apply to our sport.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I was telling you the other day about vestibular disorders.
And how you can make me go
dizzy
because of my earlobes and stuff.
Your earlobes?
Well, my inner ear or whatever.
Yeah. Yes, the vestibular apparatus in your ear. I can can
Definitely,
kind of make you feel dizzy.
Yes, the precipitator. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. That's
based off of the temperature of the water and the ions. So,
that's right. Well, you mentioned you were rowing
Yes.
later. You are a two-sport athlete. I think you're probably, when you consider the fact not only that you're a two-sport athlete, but how successful you are in both of your sports, I think that makes you one of the most impressive Gordon athletes currently. Maybe one of the most impressive Gordon athletes of all time. Do you see that in yourself? I know you don't carry yourself like that, but I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. You can always get better. I think it's exciting when
Sure.
I do good, but I kind of like take that win and then like kind of move on pretty
Sure.
quick.
Yeah.
I feel like you say this on Mondays, like after a competition, you're like, "Great job, everyone!" And this isn't gonna change how we train this week, so
Yep.
keep moving forwards. And that's kind of how I guess I approach everything.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, you're right. I say it to the team all the time. You know, whether you ran really great, whether you competed awesome, or you had a rough day, your approach on Monday should not change. You know, and so you have that approach in two different sports. Have you always done rowing and rowing and track? And I don't know, how did this come about?
My first 2 years of college, I was only rowing. But that was at the Division I level, so my coach wasn't really open to me doing another sport because
Sure.
I didn't have the time to do another sport.
Yeah.
And then when I came to Gordon, because it was at the Division III level, and I wasn't so sure that I loved rowing as much anymore because just the competition was different. The type of boats we added, sculling and not just sweeping, so it was different in that aspect too. And then I reached out to one of our old throws coaches, Steve.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, could I like try out for the program? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so I came out and tried to make that commitment, and then I loved it. So I just kept going with it.
Yeah, and now you have our school record in, like I said, indoor shot, outdoor shot. And how many meets have you actually won this year? I mean, have you won the first 3 meets for outdoor?
I think so, yeah.
That's wild. I haven't recognized. I mean, seriously, I was going to say, we could probably have you on the podcast every week because you tend to be towards the top in shot put almost every week. So I didn't even realize you got a winning streak going on.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Honestly, I'm just as shocked as anybody else. Last year, I definitely was not at this point where I am now, which is really cool to see how I've gotten better in time.
Sure.
With like different training programs and various things going on.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about Saturday. Now, you made finals. You had your best throws in finals.
Mm-hmm.
Just take us through. Obviously, I think you were throwing in the 10s the first couple throws. You got into finals, and then you finally popped a few over 12. Take us through like throw to throw. Like what made the difference in the end? What was going on?
Yeah, so I guess at the beginning I was kind of going with the mindset of what our current throws coach says, which is get a mark.
Which you did.
And I got a mark, and
That's
I stayed
great.
in, and so it's not a foul or anything, which was good. The second throw, I was like, okay, you need to do a lot better than that, because the first throw was not great. I popped up right away, and the second throw, I popped up again. And then I was like, okay, well, let's just like warm up our hands. Like maybe it's just our hands.
Just a little cold,
I can't feel what's going on. So I ran to the bathroom, like warmed my hands up really quick with the blow dryer and stuff. And I was like, okay, this next throw is gonna be my best throw. And then I got in the circle, and it was a little bit farther, but it still wasn't great.
Sure.
And I was like, I hope I made it to finals with those throws. Like I really hope I did. And then I did. I made it into finals, which was good. And that throw, I was telling myself, like, this is, like, I'm in a bad spot right now. Like, mentally, I'm, like, just, like, down on myself. Like, what do I gotta do here to fix this? And I was like, I need Miela. Like, come on. Can someone go get him? Like, this would be really helpful. And then I was like, I'll go look for him, too. And I was, like, running around, and I almost ran up to this guy with this umbrella, and it looked like you. It wasn't you. And so I was like, oh, that's embarrassing, and, like, turned around, and I just went back to the shot area.
Sure.
And then I was like, guys, I can't find him. And then I was like, whatever, you don't need to find him. What would he say at this point? Like, what would he say to you? And I thought to myself, he would say just, like, it only takes one. So just, like, go in there and do your best. And, like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, move on and learn something from it. And then I was like, okay, we're going to do it. And I got in, and I think a little bit after I had thrown that throw is when you finally came over, and I had already thrown my best throw for the day. I didn't know that was going to be the best throw, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I said this to you. I remember you telling me that story right as I arrived there, and I remember saying, I love that I live in your head now. Now you have a little voice of like, what would I say? And now, you've got your own internal motivator because, I think that's really funny. And yeah, I mean, I was just running around. Obviously, we had to cancel a lot of events, but normally I would have been there as soon as possible. But because I remember Nate saying, hey, Tiana says she needs a Miela motivation or whatever, or something like that. I was like, all right, I'll get over there as soon as I can. You're running a meet, but yeah, no, I was obviously, you're right. I probably would have said the same thing, and that's the great thing about throws, jumps, all of it. It doesn't matter if you fouled your first two. It just takes the one, because they'll take your best mark.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that you have owned that and you lived that out, and it obviously worked out for you. So.
Yeah.
And 12.35 meters, I think, was your final mark there, and that's in a field of 28 others.
Yeah.
So strong competition there as well.
Yeah.
We also had a school record broken in the 4x1 for a second straight week.
Yeah. They ran slightly better. I still haven't a chance to look at all the film. I mean, obviously, they only ran, 0.07 faster, something like that, than what they ran the week before. So marginally better, but it's always nice, as they say, you can't go broke making a profit. So if you're just chipping away at it, obviously our hope is that we can run much faster. We scratched the men's 4x1 for various reasons. We scratched a lot of, we pulled back a lot of people because of the weather, but they wanted to make sure that they ran because they wanted to get more practice, build that kind of chemistry amongst the four of them, and obviously I think that paid off. And at this point, I think last week we ran a race that wasn't super clean, that group. This week it was cleaner, but it was colder. And so I think if we can just put it all together on the right day, that group can put up a really good time. And obviously it's always nice to get a new school record. So
Looking ahead at our upcoming schedule here, we have a meet coming up this weekend in Connecticut. So I guess, Coach, just take us through what you're going to be looking for. And then, Tiana, I don't know if you have any personal goals that you're looking at attaining for the next few weeks here as we close out the season, but what are you looking forward to?
Well, no, I mean, I think we're looking forward to just some better weather. That was part of the reason why we made some of the choices we made this past weekend. We held some people back knowing that as you looked at the 10-day forecast, you're kind of like, the weather's going to be better. So we kind of took this past weekend almost as a glorified practice because, you didn't expect great marks, even though we did have, Olivia Garrity in the Hammer broke her own school record. Jessie Commanda won the 800 and PR'd. Amaris won the 400, and she ran one of her fastest times in her career. So we still had some great marks, but I just know that there's a lot more from this past weekend. And so as we look forward, it's really, I think we're just ready, and we just need good weather and the right competition for everybody to really display what they're capable of. And then T's actually not competing this week. Are you rowing this weekend? Is that what's going on?
I am rowing this weekend.
See, we gotta make it work.
Yeah.
Again, I was going to say, you said you're at your Division I school to start your college career, and the advantage of coming to a D3 school, and I was a two-sport athlete at the Division II level, and I tried to do the best I can to work with Tiana, and she's not the only two-sport athlete. We have a lot of soccer players on the team, things like that. That's the advantage of coming to a school like this, is that you actually can be in a competitive season like all year round. And I actually, as a two-sport athlete myself, I love working with those, really athletic people. So, yeah. But I don't know. What are your hopes as you look towards? You've got MIT conference and then New England's left, so you got 3 meets left. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think the goal is to throw farther.
Right on. I dig it.
Right now, the best that I've thrown is matching what I threw last year at conference, which is 12.63 meters. And
which you've already thrown this year.
I've thrown
to
that
the
this
exact centimeter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything farther than that will be exciting. I think that we're looking as close to 13 meters as possible, if not farther. But
I was
we'll
gonna
see
say,
what happens.
do you think that's where your potential
I think
is
it
right
can
now?
happen.
Yeah.
If I put all the pieces together, like there's so many things that go into it.
Yeah.
If I can put all of that together for one throw, then it can be good. Good weather too. That's gonna help.
And all it takes is one, right?
Yeah. So.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know you got that.
All right, well, lots to look forward to as we continue here in the heart of our season, and we'll be back next week to recap the Sullivan Invitational
Yep.
in New London.
Yep.
Thank you all in the meantime for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.